All right, so today we're working again on the 2002 Saturn SL2. We're doing the front passenger wheel bearing. Before you jack it up, you might want to crack that axle nut loose here. Alrighty, so after you break that axle nut loose, you're gonna jack the car up. Next thing you gotta do is you gotta take the brakes and the rotor off. A lot of people are gonna tell you, take the caliper and then the bracket off. I like taking off the least amount of bolts like possible. So you're gonna take this bolt off there, and then where the wrench is, right here, you're gonna take that bolt off. Take that off, the caliper and bracket assembly will come right off, and the rotor will slide right off as well. Okay, so once you get that off, be very mindful of this brake line right here. Be very mindful that you don't bend or twist that one. A lot of those are rubber, especially don't twist or overstress those. I put this up here on the sway bar so that the sway bar would support the weight of it. And then here is the rotor. You see this will slide right off. Next thing we want to do is we're going to want to put the slide hammer on here, pull the whole thing out. Also, take note of how close that is. The hub here is to the rest of the knuckle. You can spin this around. You can kind of hear the bearing making noise. This is what's making noise on the freeway when I'm driving down the road. It only makes noise when I turn to the left. So when I turn to the left, the driver's side, all the weight of the vehicle is shifted over to the passenger side and on this bearing, and that's when it makes the grinding noise there. And that's what gave it away to me. This one needs to be replaced. All right, to remove this, you need a slide hammer. The one that I rented from O'Reilly here, this slide hammer and this flange piece, the flange does not fit across there. No matter what I do, no matter which hole I pick, it's close, but it's not quite there. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take a regular hammer and I'm just going to tap on the outside here. So I was out here beating on this thing and I noticed that it was coming apart a little bit, but it was stuck for a while. Then I realized this bolt, this nut, axle nut is still there. So don't be like me, be smart, take this off first before, moving forward. All right, so after driving to like 3-part stores, I finally got a flange that fits. If you go to your auto parts stores, and your vehicle has a 4-lug pattern similar to the Saturn, you're going to want the taller flange, the one that's taller this way. If you get the other one, the flatter one, it's not going to fit. Once you get it on, now you're going to want to pull until this whole piece comes right off. All right, now, so after you get that hub out, now we're gonna take these bolts off. We're gonna pull this forward so that we can get that bearing or that axle out, and then put the press on there to press it out. Okay, tie rod and the ball joint, they're still connected. Now what you wanna do is there's a snap ring in the back here. You can kind of see right there and right there where it meets. You want to get your snap ring pliers and get that ring out. All right, after you get the snap ring out, you're gonna want to put this press tool in. I got this off of Amazon for 60 bucks. Harbor Freight's got a similar tool for like 120. Yeah, we'll see how this tool goes and everything. So you're gonna want a spacer in here that's as big as possible. I didn't have any other spacers in that kit that was going to fit in this better. And then you're gonna want the cup on the back side to catch the old bearing coming out. So basically the idea is you just tighten the crap out of this bolt right here, this nut, whatever it is, and it will push. As it tightens, it pushes that bearing out into that cup. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so after a lot of heaving and hoeing and a few times backing it out and trying again, after punching that center part of the bearing out, we finally have the outer race out of the hub. So in here, what you're gonna wanna do, what I've already done, is you wanna clean up that ring back there where the new snap ring is gonna go. And then this, on the inside of this lip, you wanna clean up in there. just so that the new bearing's got a clean surface to sit on. This lip right here is the reason why you have to push the bearing out the back and put the new one in through the back. Other models, you'll have 2 snap rings, like the one in the back and one in the front. If you have one of those, I'm super jealous because those are easier to do than one with this. The spacer that I had on there didn't work. I ended up having to go to the parts store and getting another spacer, and the Amazon tool here, as you can see, didn't really hold up too well. Alright, so next we need to get this race off of this hub thing here. So what I've done is I went and got a die grinder. I cut into it a little bit. If you hit the hub itself, you should be okay if you just scrape it a little bit. A trick that I just learned here is if you stick a wrench underneath in there like that, hold it down with your hand over here, and then tap on this end with a hammer, it'll pop that right off. Alright, so here's the new bearing. Got it from AutoZone, paid like 30 bucks for it. Left it in the freezer overnight. You can kind of see the frost in there starting to come up there. Left it in the freezer overnight. Hopefully this is going to help me get the bearing into that hub seated. So now we're just going to rig up our tool and pull the bearing into the hub. All right, guys. So this is the tool all rigged up. The bearing is already on its way in. So now just more heaving and hoeing here. Let me tell you, this tool is nice. The box says don't use the impact tools on them, so do it all by hand. But these bearings, in and out, they're not your friend. So just be prepared to fight. Okay, so once you get the bearing in, you're gonna wanna look and make sure that it's flush all along there. And then you're gonna wanna put the snap ring back in the back, and then we gotta put this bad boy back on. So how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna set it up in there ever so gently, and then I'm gonna tap it with a hammer a few times just to get it started. And then I'm gonna rig up the tool again, the Amazon tool, the wheel bearing press thing, and press the hub all the way into the bearing there. Alrighty, so I just got it pressed on there. You can see it's smoother. It's not making as much noise. It's not feeling as bumpy as the other bearing was. Now, all what's left to do is just put it all back together. You know, assembly is just reverse of what the disassemble was. Thanks for watching.